Is it live now? So we're live now. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad AZIM, Muhammad IZANI, and I am the representative from the CMB group Islamic. So today we're going to discuss with my fellow friends, which is from other Takaful operators, about the impact of GST towards our Takaful products. Several of my friends attended this meeting to explain about how the impact of GST towards the Takaful industry. So without further ado, let's get into it. For the first part, I will explain about Takaful, the meaning of GST, and what is the rising concern on GST towards the Takaful industry. Don't forget to leave a like, leave your comments, and share it with your friends, okay? So without further ado, let's get into it. Nowadays, we sometimes face natural disasters which are unplanned, like flood, which recently occurred at east coast of Malaysia. So to ensure our property or assets are secure and replaceable, we have to have Takaful. Takaful is a type of Islamic insurance wherein members contribute money into a pool system to guarantee each other against loss or damage. All scheme participants agree to compensate any members who suffers a loss. Somehow in 2015, Malaysian government imposed goods and services tax, which is called GST. GST helps cover federal taxes. The public was concerned if it raises the price of Takaful products. Consequently, Takaful business has temporarily slowed down. In this video, we compare Takaful operators' efficiency before and after the implementation of GST in order to determine how the GST has affected their ability to operate. Thank you, Brother Azim, for the introduction. So, let's move on to the first speaker.
Thank you, Brother Azim, for your very interesting question. So this study's primary goal is to evaluate Malaysia's Takaful administrators' public display. Its purpose is to assess how the GST has affected the performance of the Takaful operators from Malaysia. So the goods and services tax was implemented by the Malaysian government to replace the sales and services tax regimes, or also can be called as GST. So as for the research method, we use the data envelopment analysis, or also can be called as DEA. And the secondary data from 9 operators' audited financial statements from 2013 to 2016 were gathered. So the 3 inputs used in this study are labor, equity capital, and business services, while the 2 outputs used in this study are net Takaful contribution and investment income. So the performance of the Takaful operators is dependent variable, and the independent variable in this study is the GST itself. That's all. Thank you.
Wow, a very good explanation from Brother Adam. So, how about you, Nadia?
Okay, thank you, moderator. So from the article, what I can find is that when there's the extra expense by goods and services, which is GST, is being implemented, it will cause to the Takaful administrator exhibition to be affected. So this will lead to the decrease of the usual specific effectiveness of Takaful administrator, and this can be proved by the declining pattern of 2014 until 2016. For the practical implication of the study, I think the study might relate to policymakers and national banks, where they can take an important steps to help businesses. And also for the Takaful administrator, they can utilize these discoveries to upgrade their functional exercise. Although GST is being replaced by SST, it did not make any change since it is still an obligation cost for the Takaful administrator to maintaining their businesses. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Top-notch explanation there. So, how about your opinion, Akmal?
Don't have much to say about the article. The methodology used in the journal is appropriate. We are able to interpret the data provided by the authors easily. Not to mention that, we also get to know that the research question by the writers has been answered properly. They wanted to evaluate the performance of Takaful operators in Malaysia and how can GST affect their performance. Based on authors' findings, GST really does affect Takaful operators' performance. Therefore, we decided to agree with the result from the study because GST disturbed Takaful performance. Only thing lacking in the journal is the data of GST implementation. Although GST was omitted on June 2018, the research only managed to find data until year 2016. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I have to agree with that. We have something to say, Faris?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The main issue highlighted on the Malaysian Takaful Islam insurance industry effect by COVID-19. On 1 April 2050, the Malaysian Government Council of Ministers led by Nasir Razak, Prime Minister of Malaysia, made a decision to implement the goods and service tax, better known as GST, which is the value added that has been abolished in Malaysia. As a result, the performance of Takaful operator adopting GST may be degraded concerning the average technical efficiency of Takaful operator. The interesting part of the article is when they discuss the role of GST on the performance of Takaful operator in Malaysia before and after GST is imposed. So from there, every people, especially from the Takaful industry, can take a step back to improve or evaluate its performance. The article also states how performance is measured by DEA, which is the non-parametric approach, where the calculation method used to determine the rate of profit and loss as a result of GST against the Takaful operator is very accurate and cannot be doubted.
It looks like it's coming to an end. Brother Zaim, do you want to conclude?
So I will continue on my part with the conclusion. So in conclusion, Takaful is one of the alternative for Muslim consumers to ensure safety, whether for their family, their wealth, health, or anything that the scheme can cover. Other than that, we can help other people because Takaful is based on the concept of ta'awun, which means help each other. But one thing we need to know that Takaful is still a service, and a service will not be accepted from the GST. So from the article that we have studied, we acknowledge that whatever goods and services will not be exception from tax. It's just because tax is a payment that every firm must pay to the government, or regardless of what services that they provided. We can see that the performance of the Takaful have been slowed down due to the implementation of the GST, with the extra cost from the internet to smoothen the operation of the Takaful. Besides that, by this study, we can know the effect of the tax, which in this case GST can affect the business directly or indirectly. Some businesses might be taxed by price of the product increase, which make it expensive. Some businesses might not perform well because the cost of internal operator will lower their win rate, which is affecting the Takaful companies. So that's all from our group. Thank you for lending here to hear our presentation. Allahu A'lam.